So, my day at school was coming to an end when suddenly my phone had buzzed. And all of a sudden, my day had changed. I opened it, and there it was. A 28 out of 42 on my last test. A 28 out of 42. I went home, collapsed on my bed, and just stared at the ceiling. Because I wasn't even surprised about it. In fact, I was completely expecting it. With each test I would get back, my marks would slip. And to make things worse, I knew exactly what I was doing wrong. But I just continued to let it happen over and over and over. So, to put it simply, I knew what I was doing wrong. I knew how to fix it, but I'd never do anything about it. Now, looking back at myself that day, I realized my worst flaw. A flaw that's been with me my whole life. Ever since I was a kid in elementary, I had everything come easy. I would go to class, chat with my friends, maybe even sleep a little bit. And I'd wake up with 100s. But as time went on, things started to get harder, and I soon got into the habit of not working. Skipping homework, half listening in class. I felt like I was slowly slipping down the staircase, away from everybody that I refused to get back up on. When high school came, I felt like it was too late for me. But if it was, I wouldn't be standing here on the stage today. We've heard the sayings about failure. Phrases like, mistakes make you stronger, and it's okay to fail. While it is true, there is a really important factor that seems to be missing. I could fail every single day of my life, but none of it would have mattered if I wasn't willing to make a change. Failure is inevitable. It will bring you down, and that's all right. But what will you do after that? Let it destroy your hobbies, your classes, your jobs? Or will you see it as not a failure, but as a step to take? For me, there was no rock bottom in my life, just a moment where I realized I needed to get back up. And it took me 15 years to realize this, that I didn't need to make huge leaps. I just needed to take small steps. It was, and still is, very hard to get over a habit you've had your whole life. But when I get up and do something, even the same in my entire life. Even while I was writing the script, it felt like I was in a whole new place. Me 2 years ago would have never even applied, and I'm still unconfident, but I know that I'm going to keep moving if I don't give up. So, with that in mind, grade 10 struck, and I was starting to pick myself back up. With the assistance of my family, the very eager assistance of my family, I forced myself to let go of my old ways. And for the first time in my life, when I got home, I didn't immediately hit my bed. I went over to my desk, pulled out my math binder, and I started doing my homework. I looked through the questions, I tried my bat at them, and when the next math test came, I wasn't staring at the page 100% lost, nor was I second-guessing myself. I was going through the questions, like everybody else in my class. It wasn't just school, but this new art I had learned has started to take impact on my entire life. Every aspect of what I do, and really just who I was. Before I knew it, I officially made it back onto the staircase. about what came before it. It's about my failure, my losses, how I recovered from a rabbit hole of mistakes. I don't want you to see me as Newton or Einstein. I want you to see me as somebody who knows what it's like to do that. Somebody who wouldn't wish it on anybody. So, essentially, to wrap everything up, I've come to believe that labels like smart or dumb don't really define us, nor do the amount of steps on the stairs. Instead, I realized that when I respond to my mistakes, failing doesn't become a setback, but it becomes a skill. Thank you.